Hello everyone, my name is Wahid Lutfi. I'm going to show you how to just use Linux Red Hat Enterprise Linux version 9. So without further ado, let me go through a slideshow here. If I can just get that out of the way and then just click on the slideshow here. And then from the first page. So here we're looking at the Linux Red Hat Enterprise version 9, which is a virtual machine. Virtual machine, this VM stands for virtual machine. And we're talking about beginners level. So it's novice, and then it's going to be more videos later on for intermediate and advanced level. For now, just start with this first one. And this is about Red Hat Enterprise Linux 9. And that is running as a VM on a Windows machine. So as you can see here on the screen that I have here, I have already provided chapter 2 of my direct Linux to Ubuntu Linux Ubuntu version. And chapter 2 is the basic Linux command. So when you go to chapter 2 of the basic Linux commands, you get a list of 30 commands that you can practice. Let me just make this screen a little bit bigger so you can see all these commands starting with banner, and the last command is who. So, and there are rows and columns. For each of the command that you click on, you will get a kind of like command prompts for as if you're sitting in front of a Windows machine. You can practice them by just clicking on it and see the output on my web server, which is on my cloud. So you can practice any of the command that is there, or get back to the Linux manual pages for it. If you click here, you get the manual pages. As you can see here, this is also in a HTML format, as well as I have the same thing for the documentation in PDF format. So man_PDF will tell you all the commands are there. Like we were looking at, this is about 6,600 commands. So you're welcome to just read any of them that interest you, or you could just do Control F, search, for example, calendar. And then whenever you are finding the calendar command, you just click on it to get the output for it. But the calendar is a lot, so when the list goes on and on, you could just click on the one that you are interested in. This case was calendar, and calendar output will be displayed for you. I'm going to show you everything on the command lines. So like this chapter 2 that we were looking at, this is also available for you with videos that you can watch the videos here. This the entire chapter 2 is on a session on a video, which I have already posted on YouTube. You're welcome to watch them and then learn from them. And then in these example, I'm going to show you, these are on a Linux Ubuntu version, but I'm going to do the same thing for Red Hat Enterprise Linux version 9 today. So with this video, I'm going to show you on Linux Red Hat 9, which I'm already logged on. So this is a screensaver for the VM. I'm going to type in my password. Unlock the screen. Once the screen is unlocked, I have to type in the password correctly in order to unlock it. As you can see, I'm already running the cat command etc red hat-release, and it shows that it's running Red Hat Enterprise Linux version 9.1. The code name is PLO. And then I'm running the calendar command, which shows today's date is basically, if you type in date here, you see that it's April 22nd of 2023. And then this is the calendar for today. And then the uname-a give you all the information about this Linux Enterprise version 9 of Red Hat and the kernel build and everything there. We can show those commands with the uname syntax of like a revision name, uname -s for system name, uname-n for node name, or host name. You can type in host name is the same thing as uname-n. So a lot of those options are there. You can do uname-l to get everything from there. Sorry, let me clear the screen. Uname-help. I mistyped it earlier. So you can get all these arguments and options and you can practice them. But for now, I'm gonna show you what I have here. Let me clear the screen, do a pwd. On this directory, I already wrote a shell script, which is called RHEL9 basic.sh. And as you can see, this is script. It has maybe, if I do a word count on it, RHEL9, RHEL9, the word count on it is 42 lines, and then the number of words on it is 238, and then the number of characters a lot more, so 1500. But if I want to look at the content of it line by line number, I can type in cat -n RHEL9 dash basic.sh, and you can see that one and the entire script. So if I do a pipe more here, I'm showing you some of the command that I'm already covering, so you could feel confident, comfortable, and just watching this session as well. So doing a clear screen command, it will clear my screen. And then now if I do a pwd, print working directory, and then I say ls-l chapter 2 cmd dot text. So that file is maybe cmds, yeah, cmds. So if I do cmds, you can see this is the file that I'm going to just read as input, and with the other program, I'm going to read that as input and just show you all these commands. So the content of this file, cat -n in chapter 2 cmds.text, you can see it is about 30 commands, starting with the banner and then all the way to towards the end with who command. So what I'm going to do is just use this other script that I wrote, RHEL9 basic.sh. If I just do first clear screen again, and then I'm going to say RHEL9 basic. To run a shell script or a command, if you, this is another binary that is on the user bin or /bin or any /sbin, then you have to just put /, meaning that read it from the current directory, and the shell script that I want to run is this one. And normally that shell script has to be executable. But what I mean by executable, you can see that the owner, that is me, Wahidullah, has read, write, execute. Everybody else is blocked here. So you can just run this script with something like this, just say, go ahead, run it. And it's gonna just read that file that I showed you. Every 2 seconds, it shows one of those commands with the line numbers. And notice that the banner, the way I'm using it, for every line numbers, I just change that number 8 to 9s, I mean 8s, and 9s to 9s, 10s to 1s, and 11s also to 1, because the first digit I want to change that, translate from a pound to a number. So we could show you a number of things with the banner, and I will give you some tips today as well for each of the session. So right now is running through all the commands that we're going to cover, which are the 30 commands. And this lookup, name server lookup, @rm. There's add command, @rm, and @q. sort, touch, and W, who command, and then who minus R, all those ones, I'll cover more. So then I'm also showing you the what is section for all of these commands, and waits like 2 seconds, and then it just puts a new, clear the screen, and then it puts a new command here. So this is kind of like a demo of what you're going to be learning today for all these 30 commands. And the platform is important because this is a list of basic commands or introduction to Unix and Linux. So if you're on a Unix machine or Linux, most of these commands will work the same way. If the command is not available, for example, the banner command on Red Hat Enterprise Linux version 9 by default is no longer supported because that was a System 5 release 4, and Red Hat is on System 7, and then System 7 has other ways of doing it, but the System B banner, which is SysV, Sys5 banner package, usually is provided on Ubuntu. Canonical provides it, so you can just download it, which I did on here, and then using Snap, I installed Ficklets and also commands, so now I can run the command on this machine also. And then if I go to the browser site here on, this was the URL that I used, which is called snapcraft.io, and then install Figlet, and then Red Hat RHEL. That's the URL. And then usually they provide for every package like Figlet or Snap or anything you do, you run these repositories. You just, the RPMs, you have to actually install the RPM. And then once it is on your repo list, then you can just run the rest of the details and then install a Snap and then Figlets and everything right here. So that is how I did it with this one. So I have those commands available. But on Ubuntu version, by default, it is available. You don't have to worry about it. So let's go back to the command line here. On the command line, we showed you the list of commands that we're going to cover. In order to just cover each command one line by line, I have this file, clear screen, and then say cat -n. The name of the command is chapter2-commands.txt. I'm gonna do a 5 more, and you can see that the first command is banner, and then that's. So if I want to just show you a banner, the banner command itself is going to say whatever command you say, echo, you could say echo and then hello. If you put it within the code, the banner is going to read that one as v1 as first argument. And then sometimes, let's see, banner. Yeah, so clear screen again, banner. This is a test. You can see that whenever you write a banner, it will write whatever you write here as banner. And if you say echo this and then pipe it to banner, and then it will just say banner requires an argument, like a string here. So this did not understood this one. But if you say banner and then within the single code, you say echo this, I'm sorry. Clear the screen. So this is using a backtick, saying that run the echo command inside this, and then you can pass it into banner, and that would run the output as that also. But if you say, for example, why do you have to do that when you can just say single code this? That's the option that you have here. So, and then you don't have to even say the single quote, you could just do this. And then you can say this is, now it's 2 word, that is going to write it. So now if you say hello world, and then that will just say hello world. And now if you just, the tip that I was going to give you is the technique that you can use. A banner itself, if you look at the man pages for the banner, is very kind of limited. They don't have too much options. So it gives you there's no flags or options here. But if you, and it writes the first 10 characters long. So if you say banner, my web university, then notice that up to 10 characters written, the rest of them is chopped there. In order for you to do something like this, you have to write it in 2 separate words. So uni up to here, and then a space, and then my web university, which is kind of limitation here. And so a word that is really long, you cannot put it there. But you can write 2 strings that are really long, like this is a simple test. Since none of those characters are individual word, that are longer than 10 characters, then it's going to make sense there to just write them, and you get the entire things as a argv. The first one is arg1, the second one is $2, and so on, up to the argument that are passed in. But if you put it in quotes, then it's a problem. You cannot put this one in quote. Once you put in quotation, this becomes argv sub 1 or $1, which is the first argument. So the first 10 characters written, and then after that one is chopped or chopped or truncated. So this is the command banner, clear the screen. Now, what if you say cat etc os-release, and then it says that operating system, you have Linux Enterprise version 9, and then that's this one, and also here shows the version. If I do the same thing and say cat etc red hat -release, this is a short form of that file, we can look at it. Now, if I do this one with a banner, notice you cannot pass in this one banner. It's going to give you a usage because banner requires a string. So in order to just correct that, something like this, you could just, instead of doing that, you just type in here, say banner, and then use a single backtick to this as argument. So then it's going to say, okay, the Enterprise Linux version 9 is the command here. And then clearing the screen, if I type in pwd, it shows me that directory. But if I do a banner, backtick pwd, now the whole thing is showing a bigger. But again, this is just showing only the first 10 characters. So you can do something like a small, if you say echo, let's say Wahid, my name. If I say Wahid, and that is there, and then I could just say banner Wahid, and then that would just write it in a little bit bigger. And if I just say Wahid Lutfi, obviously it's going to just do the same thing with both names. Now I can do also translation of the things. The tip is here is that you can do something like this and then say translate. So what are the characters that are common there is pound. So every character by default on banner is printed this. So if I just change it to a W with all of them, and it's going to just start write W there. And if I just want to change it to a $, there, it is going to change it to $. If you change it to any characters, add symbol, you want to write it with O, a little bit kind of different formats. So you want to write it like thinner numbers or something like light. You could put a dash here, So whatever method you choose to write it, you can write the banner and then do this one. And that's how I did it on that script. So that covers enough on the banner. Let's look at the next command. Remember the file that I did, chapter 2 underscore cmds dot text. Let me just screen, and then chapter 2 star dot text. So the file name was chapter 2 dash commands. If I do a cat -n chapter 2 dash cmds dot text, and since I'm going to only cover 3 commands at a time, so let's look at the head -3 on that one. Head -3 shows you the banner, the next command is calendar, and the next command is cat. So I could just do that one on this one, say banner, and then just so I could show you what I'm going to cover on these commands. So now you can see that let's just remove the line numbers because we don't need to show the line numbers. So we already covered the banner command. The next command is calendar. Now, in order to do the calendar command, I'm going to just do a clear screen here, say cal. So what is banner? You can see, clear screen. What is banner? It will show you the prints a short string of like in a large format or posters. So in this case, I'm going to say what is in cal for the calendar, display a calendar. Obviously print a calendar. So I'm going to say cal, and then which cal is going to give me where the binary is, file user ben cal. It shows you that it's executable binary there. So I could type in user ben cal, or just simply cal, because in the user bin directory, it will just run the same program and it will give you the same output. So calendar provides a few of the arguments, like one of them is cal -j for Julian format. If you want to see the Julian format, you do that. But if you just do it without any argument, by default, it's going to give you the current month. And if you just do -j for the current month in Julian format. If you want a different date, let's say like calendar of 1/90/70, that's the epoch of Unix calendar, you could just do that one. And if you want it in Julian format, again, you just type in -j in front of it. So calendar, you can just go 03, for example, up to like the entire year. Notice that the year 0003. So you can get it even to 001. So if I want to get the calendar 001, you can see that it starts the first. That was a long billion years ago, or maybe whatever it was. It's 4-digit, so let's just not concentrate on the calendar date, but we look at the format of the syntax. So you can say calendar 2/90/98. So give me the February of 1998. Calendar 5/1964, or calendar 8 for August of that 65 or something. Whatever year that you provide, it just give it output. I said 64, but I meant 65. So right here, if you just type in the calendar with other arguments, so the current month is this. Now I can say calendar -b 2 or 3. Let's do 3. So calendar -b is not provided on this version, which is the before version, man calendar. You can see that if the options are not there, you cannot use it. But there's -3 to give you 3 spanning dates after that. -l and then -s span. So you can do those options here. And then cal -3 would give you like 3 spanning, whatever that means. So let's just go to the next one for the command list that we did here. Remember this command that I typed in earlier was right here. This one was showing you the next three. So now I'm going to do cat command. The cat command is very familiar. What is cat? It just says concatenates one or more files. So what does that mean? Cat etc os-release. And then ls minus l etc os-release. It tells you that is the file. ls minus l etc red hat dash release. This is the file. So if I want to just cat the content of that file, I could just say cat command. And if I want to do it with line number, I could say minus n and line number. But at the same time, if I just say, and instead of etc os dash release, I could just get those ones and line numbers. And then running the same command, and then running cat minus e for everything, and then you can see all of the end of dollar sign symbols there. So if there's tabs, you can also do EA. You could also get tabs separated and everything with all the, you see these spaces. On the previous one with E was not showing. Now it is all these invisible characters that are on core and they are showing. But those are different arguments to the cat command. And your help here is man cat command. Man provides the manual pages, and there's option show all, and then E for show to the end, the ends, the dollar sign characters. That's not everything, that shows ends of it, which is dollar sign. And then show all. Otherwise, you would say, why, if they have the E for everything and A for all, why would they provide both of them? Some people, they like to just remember it by certain words, but again, this minus E stand for show ends, which was the dollar sign characters there. So every file on Unix has some kind of format. So if you look at the etc host file, cat minus NE etc host, the line numbers, you can see it, and then at the end of each line number, there's a dollar sign. So if I just say, show me the same file with option of A, if there's any other tab, other ones are going to show. Similarly, if you look at this file with octal down minus C, you could see the line numbers are showing /n. So you could see the format of these files are much more interesting when you look at them. If you look at the vim etc os-release, for example, notice this file is having these lines here that are visible to us. But once I say set list, then you can see those dollar sign symbol, which was cat minus E was showing it. And if there's any tab here, let's say I'm coming here, say I'm not modifying this file, so I could just say this is test, and then notice that the control I character is there. So by not modifying, I'm going to just say quit, and that the file was not modified. But if I want to just create a file, I could do that one with a different format and everything. But that's going to be part of the intermediate level. At this time, we're going to just cover more of these commands that we are going to do, which is chapter 2-cmds.txt. So remember the banner command, and then the backtick, and say cat chapter 2-cmds.txt. And then this one, if I just do that command itself, it's going to cover everything. I'm going to pipe more so I could see that the next command is, we covered cat command. The next command is clear screen or a date and then echo. Notice because I'm just putting these commands are long and I'm using the banner, it is somehow chomping the end of it. So, or chopping the end of it or truncating it. So let's just do this. At this time, and instead of doing this, the next three command, I'm going to just say tail -6 and then head -3. So this one is going to show me the first 6 line of that one, and then I want to just show the next 3 of them, the first 3 of them, which is that. So let me, not tail, actually head -6, head -6, tail would get it from bottom, and then tail -3. So I want to just, if I just do this one, it's going to show me the first 6 lines. You can see that that's there. And then if I want to just say, okay, now show me only clear date and echo, I could do something like this, tail -3. And now those 3 commands. So the next command that I'm going to cover is clear, date, and echo. So clear command is just like this, simple. You can also use tput clear. When you type in a command here, you can type in clear, or type in the command and then tput clear. I would do the same thing. pwd ls-l, clear the screen. pwd, clear the screen, just clear. And then you can say who command, and then say Control L is also doing the clear. So whatever command you do, Control L is a shortcut for the clear command. But if you want to type in clear, that's also okay. And then if you want to do even a shorter than control character, you can create an alias called C and then write the clear command here, and then that would be doing it. So if I just say ls-l, now I type in C, it will clear for me because I created this alias called C. If I alias C, now alias C is not there. So alias by itself, I have a list of aliases, but alias C is not there, so I cannot type in C. I have to type in the actual command clear in order to do it. If I want to just keep that C, then I just say C is equal and clear command. I could do it and then C clears it, or I could do just tput clear. That is also doing the same thing. So alias C is whether you put clear command or tput clear or Control L. The shortcut is either Control L, or you could just define a character to say C to clear it. So now if I just run this one, or just run the alias command, it gives me all of them. And then if I say C, there. If I just do alias C, clear, done. So that's the clear command. Let's look at the next command that was here with the cat command that we did here, right here. And the next command was date and then echo. So let's clear the screen or see. And date command, it just gives you the system date. And then date is like, you can also format it. Man date also give you the manual pages for it. You could do the different syntax for it. And this percentage signs that are here, you can format it the way you want to format it with the date command. So, and then usually date, when you run date command, you just want to make sure your system is up to date. The time zone that you use is very important. Usually you do NTPD, Network Time Protocol daemon, to update it, and then newer version of Red Hat 8.6 and 9, they're using cronid. So make sure that cronid is running. That is a replacement for NTPD, but NTPD also provides you a mechanism that you can be always in sync, no matter when the time changes or something. So when you do date, you can also do date and then plus percentage, like printed in different format. So like month, percentage, and you put dash for then percentage date, and then dash percentage, and then Y for year, and then you just close it and you just get it there. Notice that this one was not provided properly, so I'm gonna just do 4804. That one was just showing, let's say, month, and D for date, and then that would say that it's there, which is 4 is accurate, that's April, and then 22 is also accurate, and 2020. So the lowercase m is going to give you, but the uppercase m was giving you like more information here, which was unnecessary there. And then the percentage D was giving you, so the uppercase was m was giving you this, and then this one was giving you that percentage D. So if you do want to do just percentage D, maybe you could just get only percentage D in uppercase, and that would just provide you 422 and 23. But you can also get it in the format that we did here, and instead of putting dash, you could just change it to this, and it will give you the same kind of output, except the year is not this 2023. What if you do lowercase here, and it's gonna give you the format that this is a shortcut for this. So you can play around with all of those ones. Nobody memorizes all the syntax and everything that is in the platform, but that's what the manual pages and info commands are. So you can see the details in there, mandate also. And then you can also do a man minus K for keywords, and then date. So you can get all the information there. So if you're looking at man calendar minus K calendar, you could get that. Let's look at the next command. The next command is, let me search for the slash banner. Okay, so one command that is friendly here is type in history, and then your command is right here. You could just recall that command here, or just say R584, I believe it is, and then or call 584. Yeah, that was a clear command. So let me just do this, and then I'm going to cut and paste this command here, because I forgot the way actually it was called. And so I'm gonna just do, I could also write that one into a command, say grep minus I. And notice that you don't need to cut and paste with Linux stuff. If you are a developer, you should be able to look for a particular command here, and then just type in, not this, I'm going to look for a banner. And notice the last banner that I did here with this, I could just say, let's get one of them. I'm gonna say tail minus 1. Tail minus 2. Okay, so I need to just get exactly the one that I want, and then let's correct minus I for more. And then those are the commands that I want. So I'm gonna look at tail minus 5, minus 4, and I have one of them. I'm gonna send this one to a file called, let's say F, and then vem F, and then I'm gonna just say, wow, sorry about that, history, because it was written in my history. A lot of these commands are no longer helpful for it. 5 more. I'm looking at the history, there's a lot of them. Group, okay, history, group for chapter 2, CMD. Yeah. So this one, I'm going to just be interested to create that file from this command. And then let's just say, send it to a file called vmf. Now I have the file script here. I'm gonna delete all the other ones except this one, and then delete this other ones. Okay, so now I have this one, $6. And then what I could do is even write a script to do it, but that would be on an intermediate level. Let's just save this file, and just for the sake of this command is available for me, cat -n, and then 5 more, and I don't need even 5 more here. So I'm gonna just say cat f, and then this one, basically, and the last command that we need to run is change mode 755 f. I'm gonna run this one. Okay, so that was covering that, and then let's just say so sorry about that. Banner backtick cut chapter 2.cmd.text tail -6, and then head -3. Actually, I'm gonna say head -6, and then tail -3. So this is the command that we want to do. Cat this command head -3. Let's see, first of all, what is this one I'm gonna give you? Oh, that's why I wasn't in the right cat CMDs. So we have to type in CMDs. I was mistyping it. The mistype is gonna get you always. So we covered date. Now the next command is echo. Clear the screen and then type in C. We did that one. Echo, this is a test. It will just write that one. Echo, and this is a test. Will write the same thing. If you just say put a new line character, it will write a new line character only if you do this flag of -e. -e means expression. So now if I wanted to put a tab between here, or to put 2 tabs, it will just write 2 tabs. If I wanted to say a new line character after this, it will write that one on a new line characters. So you could just write whatever you want and then say this, and then it will just write that one and then say s/new, a new line character is also new line. So notice that when you write all of these ones, every time you put /n, it puts a new line characters. And then the last one did not have any word after it, so it's this. If I want to write more new line characters, obviously I could do that. Similarly, if I wanted to put a tab here, /t/t/t, 4 of them, I could just tap them 4 times. So echo is your friend there. And then banner, and now I'm gonna do a cat CMDs. Okay, chapter 2. Let me just make a chapter 2 short form. I'm gonna say copy chapter 2 dash underscore CMDs or dash CMDs. I don't remember the name, so I don't want to remember it. And so I'm gonna just call it F. And now this F file has the list of them, or let's just call it file 1.txt or something. Move F to f1.txt. So now f1.txt has it. I could just say, instead of just doing that one, I want to make it look bigger so you can see what I'm going to cover next. We covered up to the echo, so I'm going to say cat f1.txt is there, and then the next command after the echo command is head. But let's just say something like this: banner f1.txt, f1.txt, and then head -9, tail -3. So I'm going to cover the next 3 commands of that one, which is head and host name, and then host. The head command is just, as you can see, when we are getting head of that one, if I look at the line number, this is going to show that we were looking for the first file. So if I just say, show me only the first 9 of them, I get those first 9 of them. So let's just look at it as small, head -9 for the f1.txt. So looking at that line, the first 9, if I change it, say, show me the first 3, and it's going to show me the first 3. But if I also do a cat command, cat f1.txt, and then pipe it to head, now I see the line numbers. I don't need the f1.txt to be shown there. So you can see the first 3 lines are there. Now, if I say, show me the 6 lines and show me the 9 lines, head will just give you this. By default, if you don't give it, it shows you the first 10. And if you do a word count on this one, -L, it shows you there's 10 lines here. Similarly, the tail command, since I'm here on the head, if you look at the tail of this one shows you from the bottom the 10 lines. And then if you just don't do this one, it is there. If you just say cat -n, minus cat -n, f1.txt, and then tail -10, you see that line 21 through 30. Because altogether, there were 30 lines. If I say tail -5, then it's going to just show the last 5. And then similarly, -28. So it's skipping the line number 1 and 2. You can see here's 28. If you want to just say, show me only 10 of them, the last 10, it will just do the last 10 as if you're not typing anything. Here with tail no argument. So you can say head -10. And notice that that's going to show line 1 through 10. Well, the fact that I put a -n here to show you how many lines you're dripping. And so the head is just by default is 10 -5 is going to give you 5 lines. -30 gives you the entire file, and so on. So if you go up here, it's 1 through the end. And then that was head command. So cat f1.txt, and then I'm going to do the same thing now here and say banner and run this command f1.txt head at -12. I'm going to read another next 3 command. Actually, head -9 first, and then tail -3. That would give me those host name. The head I covered, the host name and host I need to cover. Host name gave you the host of the server, which is etc host file, also has an entry on it. And then if the server is on a network on DNS, it will have a DNS name. So if you run it like whatever for mywebuniversity.com, the host name will be showing my web university. In this case, the host name is just localhost. Host also give you an argument of whatever you're looking at. For example, host www.mywebuniversity.com. It will give me an IP address for that one. Host google.com. As long as you're on the network, it will just find out the IP address of that one. So amazon.com, and then so on. You can do oracle.com. Any host that you're looking for, you get the IP address of them with all that the details. So the next command that we're going to cover here is let's say the host we covered, then host name we covered. So the next one, we're gonna go 12 here, and then we're gonna just cover the next 3 commands: ID, info, and paste. ID command basically give you the system ID, and then if you do ID dash A for all details, ID dash N for sorry, ID dash UN, show me the user and name, and then ID dash GN group name, and ID dash N will give you sorry, ID dash G will give you the group, ID dash U give you the user ID. So if you wanted the numbers, you type in dash U for user ID, dash G for group ID, and dash GN for name for group, and dash UN for user ID. So that's ID, and then ID Wahid Dalal here, you can type in and it will tell you the same thing. There's also a command, get interview password Wahid Dalal. You could get that one also on Linux in there. And then some of the shell information, everything I'll show you at some point. So the next command that was here, we covered ID and info. Info is like a man page. Info itself, you could get the information on the command info. So if you say info pwd or info clear screen, any command that you type in, you get information and read similar to manual pages. And then the next command was here is paste. Paste is like if you want to put some information between the 2 files and you want to paste them together. So if I just say, for example, echo, and this is a test, or just let's say, welcome to, I'm going to send this one to a file called W for welcome, and then I'm going to say echo my YouTube channel, and then send it to this one, called it M for my, and then we're going to say the YouTube channel, which is https www.youtube.com/@mywebuniversity, which is the handle for the website. So I'm sorry, let me just write that one to C for channel. So now we have a file called W, and we have a file called M, and we have a called C, which is the channel. We want to paste these files together, say paste command, and then say which paste first is a binary. So you could say paste W, M, and C, and you want to send them all to a file called all for A. So now cat A, it has all the 3 of them together. And then notice that since there's a new line character on those ones, cat minus EA, it will show, and that there's control M characters here, control I with tabs, and this is tab. So if I just wanted to get rid of the tabs, I could say them A, and then just make these ones spaces. And then said now I can replace them, but I want to just postpone that one to a later video that we are teaching you intermediate and advanced. Here you can see that the file is now there. And if I go to the same command, notice that there's no tabs like it was there before. And so there's no spaces. That's why when we print it out here, there. And you can also do a octal dam minus C of A. You can see that there's the whole thing, and this is the address, and the last line is the new line character. Okay, so that was for the paste command. And then the next command that I'm going to cover here is paste we already covered, info we already covered, so let's go to the next three, which is I'm going to change this one to 15, and now PS command, PWD, and uname. PS minus EFA, 5 more, shows all the process that are running. PS is basically what is a PS. It just basically show you a process that are running on the system. You can also get the system with top command. These are all the process ID or for all the process that is running. And if you just do a PS by itself, it will tell you the current shell that you're running, which is this bash that I'm using. If I just spawn off another bash, now my shell, I'm on the sub bash, and that $ is pointing to the next one. So then if I exit out of this one, now I'm on the other one there. I'm only on the bash, so the first one. So depending on how many shell you open and how many process you open, if you're on a web server, you're running a web server, maybe you're running SSHD, maybe you're running Apache or something, you can always check on the process. And then if you have a runaway process or something, you can kill it. So like, for example, let's just open here another command, and I'm going to run top command here, and then just come back here. Now I say PS minus EF ref minus I top. Now notice the top command are there, and then the one that I want to see, grep minus V grep, I want to see this binary process that I spawned up. So that one is mine. I can say kel -9, and then just say the process ID is 43233. Now that top command just got killed. And notice that I'm just saying that the word kill. Yeah. Okay. So there's a lot of things like here, if I just say clear screen, say gnome dash calculator. Now that gnome calculator started, here I could just check it, say PS minus EF grep minus I calculator. Now notice this process is there. So instead of just saying kel -9, the process, I could say pkel process kel gnome dash calculator calculator. It is faster that way. Now this process calculator also terminated. And then if I just say show me the process again, notice that this process is still there. That did not do it. So pkel minus F for force should have killed it. You see, minus F force it. Now, if I want to just do this one, and the calculator is no longer there, here it just says terminated. So you can do it in many ways. You can just stop it there. Coming back on this screen, which one is, yeah, I'm on this one. So the next command, we looked at the PS command. Let's look at this command. Okay, the info paste, we already covered info and paste. And I'm gonna look at the 15, PWD, and then uname. So PWD is also a good command, print working directory. So if I CD here and say PWD, I'm on the programs. If I just type in CD here meaning that go to my default one, it's going to go there. This $ PWD is also an environment variable that tells you what it is pointing there. You can also look at the environment variable this way or that one, interpolate it so it will just do this. And then $home, for example, all uppercase, it's going to show that one also. So if I say CD to programs, now I type in PWD, notice my $PWD is just changed as well. So wherever I go here and I go shells here, and then I say echo PWD, it will say that one. Also print working directory, it will go there. So PWD prints the current working directory. And then the next command was uname. So clear a screen, uname-a will give you the system name. If you type in uname by itself, it's the same as uname-s. Uname by itself is the same name as uname-s, and uname-n for node name, uname-r for revision, uname-n for machine type, uname-p for platform, uname- let's say O for I must have you. And so you can do a number of them. Uname dash, oh sorry, my voice, I was losing it. Uname dash dash kernel dash 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 kernel name, and then uname dash dash help will give you everything that we have. So that's about the uname command. The next command that I'm going to cover here on this one, up to, let's go to the 18 commands. 18 is less and ls and man. Okay. So less command is very good to do. So you go man and then PWD, for example, you can see that it stops one page at a time. If a file is really long, you want to use less on it, like less etc OS-release. It is going to fit on one screen, and if there's more than one screen, it waits for you to press enter or continue. And then you can also search here, do a slash, and then say type in Fedora, and then it's going to search for Fedora something. You search for, let's say, a color, it's going to show that color. But it has to be like uppercase because it's whatever case sensitivity matters there. And then if you want to do it with ignoring the case, you could do something like color/I. It did not recognize it. And so the less is just basically if you have a file that is really long, like this script, let's say we call it word count minus cell extern.sh. So that's 28 lines cat extern.sh. It is that many lines, and you see that word count minus L was there. So if I just want to see extern.sh again, but it was stopping one and show me the top of the line, then I do this one, then I press an end, and when I type in Q for quit, it's going to end it there. The script that we wrote was Red Hat release 9. This one is the number of lines that it is there on RHEL. It is 42 lines. So if I want to see the top of it, and then I could just change this one to a less command. Notice that it's gonna wait for me to type in more commands. Okay, I'm gonna slow down a little bit because my voice is really, I'm losing it, and you're gonna get bored talking like this forever. 1 second. Let me just do the next command. PWD uname, we did that one. So I'm gonna do this one 18. The ls command in man page. Clear the screen. ls command is basically if you do list by itself, it gives you a list of files that are there. ls -f, if the files are directories, it put a slash in front of them. And then if you do ls minus LTR, the last files that were last modified, like this A file I created, it will be written on the at the end of it. Obviously, you can sort them different ways also with the sort command. ls minus L give me long listing. So if I just say ls minus L star.sh, it shows me all the .sh file. Clear screen ls minus L star.text, it gives me all the text file. So ls give you a long listing of the files if you put a -L in front of it, and then ls minus LA show you hidden files. A for all files, so clear the screen, ls minus LA, pipe more, and you can see all these hidden files that are there. So if I'm on a current directory, and then my home directory, there are some hidden files like the bash rc, script, another one, so I could type in ls minus LA, and I could see that the bash history and so on. This .bash rc is because of your shell is bash. We looked at that one. Then a run control script .bash rc is provided for that purpose. And as you can see, my prompt shell 1, I have already changed it, ps1. I have already changed it to only show this. So the default, if you go here, just open it, notice it is much different. And the way it is there, Wahidullah at localhost. So if I go echo $PS1, it's set to the /u, meaning show the user, and then /host h for host name, and then /w for the directory name. So if I just say, oh, how is that written in here, and then you look at this file called .bash rc, the file, because I said echo $shell, I'm using bash, and I could also say get end password Wahidullah. Then you could see this bin bash. So since it's bash, that means I have a file called .bash rc, and the content of this bash rc, it makes calls to etc bash rc, and etc bash rc right here. And then inside here, if I do a clear screen and say grep ps1 on the etc bash rc, you can see that that file is using the same syntax of saying that set up my environment variable to point to that one. And this is that line that actually does it, because not commented, the second line is commented. Okay. So I'm going to close that one, come back here, and then on this one I change it only to whatever you want to change that $sign to, you can do that one. But if you just want it back to the same one that it was on the system, you could just say cd here and say dot bash rc. Let's see, let's .bash rc. So I'm going to say source that one .bash rc, bash rc. Now my shell should be changing ps1. Okay, it did not change it. Let's see, bash rc. Okay, so it does not run it from this shell. Let's see if I could force it and say bash bash rc, and then it still did not show it that it modified. The only way you can get it is just right here. Get a new shell and it's automatically there. And then you can see if I just make it bigger, it's there. Echo $ps1, now it is pointing to what my system should have, which is username at the host name with the home directory. Coming back on this screen and running this command of 18 of them. Let's look at the list of commands again. right here. I think we did 18, and then let's do this. I'm on the wrong directory, so I'm going to go programs, shells, and then run this command banner. And the next command, ls man pages, we already covered man page a number of ways, but I'm going to cover it again. Man ls will give you the long listing of this one. Man minus k ls will give you keywords with it, clear screen. Man printf will give you the section 1 of the printf statement, but if I want a section 3 of the man minus s3, printf will give you the standard IO headers files, minus s3. So this one it did not, print. I just typed in print and it's a man. So you just do that. And then man minus section 8, let's say mount command, it will just give you section 8. But if you just don't give the section, by default, the system knows what that command is under that section, and it is going to produce the output. And then man minus s3 is scanf, it will just tell you section 3, and if you don't do it, it knows that that's section 3 command. And if you just do user share man, this is all the man pages that are there. Man question mark, those are the commands that are there. ls minus ld of that is man 1 through man n. So all of that one, if you just do this and say word count minus l, you can see there's 6,256 manual pages. All of them, they have this .ganzip file, but the section number is there. That's how it knows the format of it. So we covered that, and then the next command that we're going to cover, let's say we already covered 18, so I'm going to cover the next 3, which is more, and then PG. Let me just look at f1.text here, and cat minus n f1.text, 5 more. So the command 18 we already covered. So 20 is make dir is we're gonna cover 19, and then more in page. So make dir, I'm on the here. If I just say clear screen, do a pwd make dir test1, and then I could also say make dir test2 slash test1. Now notice that when I do test2 and I want to create the test1 inside of it, it says test2 doesn't exist, you cannot do it. But in order to do that one, you just put a -p saying that created on that path. So now we have created the directory called test1. We have also created the directory test2, but inside test2 we already have more files, so more directory like test1 here. So if I want to see the long listing of this, I could say uppercase R. Remember the ls command? It has a recursive or subdirectories that you can see also in there with that -r. So for the test1, there's only one directory, there's nothing. So it just shows that. And then now if I just say rm dir test1, it will just delete it because it's empty. But if I say rm dir test2, it's not going to be showing empty. So in order for me to delete that one, I have to delete test1 first, and then now delete test2. Now I can do it. But make dir minus p, and then I could just say test2, test1, test3. So whatever name I could put it, that's fine. Now test2 has more than just one file. So in order for me to delete all of them in one shot, if I just say rm rm dir test2 is not going to do it. But I could do it at rm minus rf recursively, forcing it test2, it is there, and now it's gone. So test2 doesn't exist anymore, but And be careful when you're doing RM minus RF, you make sure that you're doing something that you're like testing for no reason you're doing it on production or something, right? So you want to just delete what you want to delete. And then the next command was we could do RM was there. This okay, this one, the next command was make dir, and then more and page. More is the opposite of less. So if you say more RHEL, this file is going to just stop on a page at a time, and then you could do it. Similarly, with this one, you could do search for the command clear or something, you could do that. So more is a little bit limited than less. Less is better. It has the search functionality, but more you can just say something more, and you could say, for example, a command and pipe more also. So like you don't want to just say cat a file name pipe more. You don't want to do that. You want to just say more that file name right away, so you don't have to type in 2 commands. But there are times that there's need for a more command after running so many commands inside there. So more we covered, and then cat minus n f1.text page. Page is similar to more. So sometimes you provide an alias to do the more kind of work there. So if it is a which page, if it is not there, you cannot say page etc voice-release. Release, you cannot say page not found, but then you can create the alias, say alias page is equal, and then pipe put the more command now, say page more, it will just do that. So page is similar to less. If it is not provided, you can create a less, alias pointing to either less or more, but it's just a page at a time. It's unnecessary to have all these commands for them. There's one command already available for it. Then the next command, we are going to do cat minus n1.text, 5 more. So we already covered up to page, which is 21. In this case, I'm going to look starting tail of last 10. Last 10, tail minus 10. So clear the screen. If you look at this one, we need to cover ping command, dig, and all other ones, and then dig, and then NS lookup, and so on. So let's look at the ping command. Ping google.com. So it pings the server, and then it's going to see if it is alive or running or not. Ping minus S, you could get it with a certain one with minus count, minus n. All these arguments are there. So ping and dash dash help, it tells you that if you want to just do it on a different number of arguments, you can just pass on a number of them. And then dash n, DNS name resolution, and then dash C for the count. So if I just say by default here, on the Windows, it's a different syntax. That's why you want to look at the ping help. So you say ping minus C. If you do it like this, www.mywebuniversity.com, you can see it is pinging forever if you don't stop it. So if you just want to do it only 4 times, you just say minus C, a count of 4 times. And then after 4 times, it will automatically exit out. And the number of 4 packets will be just better to tell you whether it is successful or not. So that was for the ping command. And then the next command we're going to do here is dig. So what is the dig command? It's a DNS lookup utility. dig, and then you could type in www.mywebuniversity.com. And notice that it gives you a lot more than host. The host was just giving you information about the IP address, and like you could see the host name was giving you the IP address. But dig command, on the other hand, it gives you more. It gives you the IP address here, and it gives you some of the records on the query strings, similar to NSLOOKUP. So that's what dig command does. And the next command that we're going to cover, let's look at this one again, dig. NSLOOKUP actually. NSLOOKUP, google.com will give you the Google name server lookup. That's what the command stands for. And NSLOOKUP also you can do, let's say oracle.com. And if you just want to say NSLOOKUP by itself without any argument, you just get into a prompt. Now you can just type in the name of the site, like mywebuniversity.com, and then google.com, and then amazon.com, ibm.com. Whatever you do, you search it, and then when you're done, you type in exit and you do it. And this lookup also has some cool parameters. -Q is query, is MX record, mail exchanger record. If you say, what is the mail exchanger record for Google, you will see smtp.google.com mail exchanger. And similarly, what is for the oracle.com, you can see that it's there. Any company you want to see that, you go. -query is equal A is the A record. A record of google.com will just give you the IP address of that one. Similarly for www.mywebuniversity, it is giving you that. Okay, so what's the next command? cat -n f1.txt. And then the f1.txt, the next one is @rm, @q, and @command. So @command is very useful. It's similar to cron jobs, but it runs at a specific point, one command or more commands or a file. So @command, what is and which the binary is there. Once it's there, you can use and then say something. If you just say itself, it says garbled time. Usually, sometime of the system, they give you the prompt. So, but here you can say @now, and then just get into the prompt. And here now you say ls-l, and then say and send it to a file called ls-l.txt, and then say Control D to end it. Now I have a file called ls-l.txt, and then cat ls-l.txt. It actually is the long listing command. ls-l.txt. That's how you see it. So clearing the screen again here, rm-ls-l.txt. I don't need that file, so I'm going to delete it. I could say now plus 1 minute plus 5 days. So you could say 1 minute or plus 5 days or plus 10 years. So whichever one argument you provide on the argument, you can run the list of the commands. But because I'm demo it now, I want to say @now, and then say run pwd and send it to write it to a file called ff.txt. And then now say run date command and then double greater sign ff.txt, because I want to append that one. And then say cat calendar command, run it also to the ff.txt. Now I'm going to say Control D. Now the job is created at Q. Actually, it's too late now because I said I'd already finished. So now the ff.txt is there. And then if I look at the ff.txt contents, you can see it run the pwd command, followed by the calendar command, and the date command, and followed by the calendar command. You can also do, if you want to just say @now, then it will just show it on the queue. So let me just show you that one. So @now plus 1 minute. I'm just going to say the 1 minute. Now I'm going to say PWD and then greater sign. I'm going to write to the same file, but append it first to that one, and then run the calendar command, and then say ff.text, and then control D out of here. Now I say at Q, it will show the job. If you're a super user, switch user sudo su dash, and then type in my password. As long as that job is submitted, at Q will show me that one, but it's already completed. So if I just say at Q here, it already is completed. Now ff.text is created, and ff.text should have the pwd command followed by the calendar command. So you can see that this is done. The only difference is the root will just give you more privilege that you can see other users add jobs. And similarly to add, there's cron jobs, and then on the other videos, I'll cover cron jobs as well. So let's see what else we have here. Clearing the screen, cat f1.text, clear the screen, cat -n, f1.text. So we covered up to add. We're gonna cover sort, touch, W, and bool. So clear the screen here. I'm gonna just say ls -l and then sort. Sort by itself is sorted, and there you can do also my in ascending order or descending order. You can do it in numbers, everything. So let's write some numbers here to just show you an example of a sort command. I'm on this directory. I'm gonna say echo 10, and then send it to this file called ff.text. So now ff.text only has the number 10. If I want to send the 100 here, and then I'm gonna just do the double greater sign. I'm gonna write it twice here. So now I have that one. I'm gonna just make it a bigger number here, and then just put, let's say one more number. I'm gonna put 11 here. I'm gonna put 22 here, and then I'm gonna put that number. So now cat -n ff.text, it has those numbers. If I say sort, let me clear the screen here. So we created that file, and if I just want to say sort here, notice it is not sorting it by actual comparison, because it says these are string, and I'm going to compare it with that. And if I say sort -n, now it is just showing you in that format, cut this. So let's look at vim tt.text, actually ff.text. ff.text, and then I believe it is has to be within codes there. That's why the numbers sort -d, descending order sort -n. Yeah, sort -n now it works. Earlier it was not working for some reason. Maybe I was typing. Oh, I was not typing -n. I thought that I was typing in. So sort -n now it works. You can see that it sorts it in this. So now, if there's any number that is written like 100 is written twice, you can also do a unique on it. It will just take the character there. After you sort it in ascending order, then you could just unique it there. That was sort, and then I think there was f1.text. So touch command, touch and W and bool. Clear the screen. Touch command, touch this. It just create an empty file. If a file already exists, t.text, you can see ls -l ff.text. That file already exists. If you touch that one, if f.text, it will just do a timestamp change. And so this is good for C programmers and compiling and building it. Sometimes you want to touch a file or modify a file, so you can change the source code. Once you get the timestamp changed, this and done for you. There's also a command W. W is going to show you who is logged on in the system. Command W, you can see that one. And then what is W, you can see that. Shows who is logged on and what they're doing. etc who do also does that sometimes, but sometimes etc who do is not provided. If it is not provided, you just type in W for that, finding out who does what, and then who is logged on. Who minus R shows you run level. Who shows you logged on. Who am I shows you who you are, and who am I if you're not coming from remote, you type in on the local machine. But if you're coming from a remote machine, you type in with the spaces who am I. Since my process is just coming from the current shell, so I have to type in who am I, which I know who am I. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video and learned everything. This video was for you for Red Hat dash release, Red Hat dash release file, which is Red Hat Enterprise Linux. And thanks for watching. And please make sure that you go to our channel, like and subscribe, so you will see the next video next time when I make it available. God bless you all. Take care. Bye-bye now.